Okay, yesterday we had a difficult Gemara, to say the least. Basically, it was a person who's Makabel Naziris for his son and then Makabel Naziris for himself. He started counting Naziris for himself, and again, it was mafsik for his son. So he said the halacha is he has to go ahead and finish his sons, and then he finishes himself. What happens if he says this is that my sons, and he says he's Makabel for 100 days? So he said he goes ahead and finishes his sons. Yesterday we said, this doesn't work out for me. It could be a different shitas. Yesterday we said he finished his sons, he brings his karbanos, and then he finishes his own and brings his karbanos at the end. But we said 20, yes, he matched them 80 days. So it's 100 days. Today we're going to see something different, a different approach. It's similar to this, and it's difficult. Okay, let's see the Gemara. We're going to start in the Mishnah on Daf Tesvav, and we're going to see the Tosfos on Daf Yud Gimel, which is the explanation of the Mishnah on Daf Tesvav. Till I found it. Okay, anyway, Baruch Hashem, I wrote on the side of the Gemara, Ayin Yud Gimel. Okay, so yeah, very, very cryptic Mishnah, fellas. Cryptic Mishnah. Here's what I plan to do. I'm going to go through the Mishnah. Then I'm going to go to the Tosfos to explain the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah. Hareini Nazir the Chashiyele Ben. A person again, he makes his Kabbalah and Naziris to have a son. We saw Tosfos earlier that a person it's a very good shmaka thing that a person to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, become a Nazir when he has a son. And Vin Nazir Me'ah Yom. And in addition, right, I want to be a Nazir for 100 days. Noilad Ben, if a son is born ad Shivim, up until 70 days, like Hifsid Klum, he doesn't lose anything. La'acha Shivim, however, after Shivim, Soiser he's mafsid. She'ein tiglachas pachas mishlesh yayim. So it makes no sense. You really should say she'ein naziris pachas milam yayim, but this is what it says over here. So I'd like to go ahead and do the Tosfos and then go back to the Mishnah and stick Tosfos in the Mishnah. Okay, the Tosfos on Yud Gimel. Give me. It's not. No. Again, it's going to be a different thing. I'm telling you. If you look at the Mishnah on the Tosfos on Daf Yud Gimel Beis, Hareini Nazir Kishiyilei Ben. Says Tosfos, top Tosfos, Pirish. The Stam Pirish, the Stam Naziris is Havish Leshinayim. Stam Naziris is what is for 30 days. Stam Naziris is for what is for 30 days. So he's Makabel Naziris for his son, which is going to be 30 days. In addition, he says V'Nazir Me'ah Yom, and he says I'll be a Nazir for 100 days. So Naziris dinavshe for himself, not for his son. V'hashta nami kibel Naziris to ben Bereisha, and it's speaking as well where the Kabbalah of his son was first. The Hiskul in Naziris dinavshe kufyoim. He began counting 100 days. The Noilad Ben, and then he had a son. Now, Ad Shivim, if this son is born up until 70, we're going to see including 70, the Yom Shvi Nami Bechlal, and 70 is also Le Hefsid Klum. What does it mean he doesn't take a loss? Pirish. Achreshin is Niris Benoy Shal Shloishim Yom Muvloyim Kuf. Since the 30 days of his son's Naziris is swallowed up literally in his kuf. Again, if he has 30, if he finishes, he counts up. He did 70 days, right? And now he has 30 days left. So why do we say the halacha is he has to stop his Naziris and finishes his sons? The Mishnah is mechadesh. If he has 30 days left, even if he has more than 30 days left, you're going to count at the day of 100. You're going to do one haircut and bring 2 sets of kabbanis. This is not what we said yesterday. This is not, again, I don't have it. The difference between yesterday, we said that you're going to go ahead and stop in the Naziris and be mashlan. Here, the Mishnah is being mechadish the following. If the son's Naziris is muvla, in other words, in my 100 days, I can do my own and my son's, 30 of those days will count for both. 30 days will be concurrent, they'll count for both. That's provided I have those 30 days. And lahifsid klum, meaning I don't have to eat on any more days than the 100. I'm there, I'm good. Now, this is not what we said yesterday, and I don't have an answer. It could be yesterday was a different mafarish. It could be yesterday, again, there's so many different mafarshim over here. It could be yesterday was a different pshat. This is the Mishnah, according to Tosfos. There are other pshatim in the Mishnah also, but this is Tosfos pshat in the Mishnah. So again, the first part of the Mishnah, let's hold off here. Let's go back to the Mishnah now, guys. Hareini Nazir l'chshiyah ben. I'm a Nazir when I'll have a son. How many days? 30 days. Tam Naziris l'shlesh miyayim. The Nazir me'ah yoyim In addition, I want to be a Nazir what? My own Nazir for 100 days. He begins to count his 100. Noilad ben, if he has a son within those 100, ad shivim up until 70, then loy hifsid klum, meaning he's going to be able to go ahead and finish it off in 100 days, because concurrently we'll count the 30 of his son. We have 30 days left for his son, for his naziris to be mashlim, and not only his hashlama, but it'll all include his son's naziris. However, la'achas shivim. However, if after shivim, then soiser. Now, what does soiser usually means, guys? It overrides the whole thing. Here it means he's mafsid. Best way to touch it, soiser, he loses. Why? Because he's going to have to keep an extra day, an extra 2 days, extra 3 days, until he goes ahead the 30 days for what? For again, he's going to have to be mashlim. He counted his son's 30 days, he's going to have to be mashlim. Back, let's see. Let's go back by Taisus. Let's go back to Taisus. The first in line. So Shleishim Yom Muvloyim Toich Kuf Yoim Adayin. It says the Pirish Ulechein Amrinon Kuf Yoim Oilam Naziris to Benai V'Gam Lemei Yoim Dinavshe. Then his 30 days that will count for his son's Naziris and his. The Afa Gav Dem Yad Kishi Yivoli Benai. Tzarich Leniach Eshaloi V'Limnois Shel Benai. Even though he has to stop his naziris and count for his son. Why? Shari kiblu techila. Because remember, the pecking order is important, right? He went ahead and he accepted his son's first. Like we said before, afilu hachi. Since the son's 30 can be muvla within his 100, it counts for both. He'll complete 100 days. He'll take a haircut for both. 2 sets of karbanos. That's this is what it says. Let's see what it said the following. Harini Nazir Kishiyule Ben the Nazir. Guys, he says, I'm a Nazir when I have a son, and I'm a Nazir. And his wife gives birth on day number 1. It'll be the same din. You hear? Concurrent. The same din. Who had in the case before? Not where it was a Nazir Muetes. It wasn't a long Naziris. That would the same din would apply. That what? On day number 1, he starts counting. His wife gives birth on day number 1. It would work concurrently, and you, at the end of 30 days, take 1 haircut and bring 2 sets of karbanis. That's the way Taisus learns pshat in the Mishnah. Okay, so let's see the Mishnah one more time, and this is the way we're going to learn. Hareini Nazir Ben. I'm a Nazir when I'll have a son. The Nazir may a yom. In addition, I'll be a Nazir for 100 days. Now he starts counting. Ben at shivim. If he has a son up until 70, including 70. Like hifsid klum from his 100, he's not going to have to go over it. La'achas shivim, however, after shivim, soiser, he would take a loss. What does that mean? He'd have to start counting more. Shein tiglachas pachas mishleishim yoim. There's no tiglachas less than what? Than 30 days. Be aware there's an opinion that you'd have to, I think it's the Rambam, you'd have to have 130 days. And that's what, you'd have to, if I can get it with him with 100, great. But if I can't, then once I can't get it with 100, you'd have to a whole new series of 30 days. But again, we're going with Taisvis. It fits in. We take out the word shivim and it works a little bit. Okay, guys, we're good? Okay.
So the problem is the word tiglachas, no?
So that Taisvis says you should read it. It's really not tiglachas, but she'ein naziris pachas milamed yom. There's no naziris less than 30 days, and therefore you'd have to go overtime to make up those 30 days, guys. Because it's not the tiglachas that you have to make up. You just have to make the 30. You have to make up the 30 days. Yeah, Hesh, you good?
The karbanis and all that with the glasses, one's ma'akiv, the other, no.
Machlokes. The machlokes, what's ma'akiv? And again, usually it's gebunded together. The day we said yesterday, the day you bring the karbanis, you take a haircut afterwards, and then you drink wine. We had a machlokes. What's the ikka? Is the carbon the ikka, or is the haircut the ikka? Like Rabbi Eliezer, the haircut was the ikka. Like the chachamim, the karbanis are the ikka, and we'll see this Bez Hashem later on in the Masechta. What? The haircut goes hand in hand with it. After we said yesterday. For those people who were here yesterday, I brought it. I'm just curious. The pecking order is first you would take first you would bring your karbanis, then you take a haircut and you'd put the hair under the pot of the shlamim. That's what you would do. But the haircut goes first. So let's say you took a haircut yesterday, you had a case and you came tamei.
Right.
So according to one opinion, according to the Rabbanan, you'd be Ois Nazir, but you won't be able to bring karbanis anymore. Okay. Anyway, says the Gemara. Now Rav's going to be machadish. Really should do it outside. Amar Rav, Yoim Shivim oila lekan ulekan. Okay, so what's that case, guys? According to Tosfos, you get within 100 days comes day 70. So you're at the 70 mark, and now you have to make up 30 days for what? Okay, so watch. Okay, now, so now if you're going to start counting on day 70, is it the last day of your Naziris, but you're going to start counting your son on 71? Or no, it's my 70 and it's the first day of my 30. Says Rav, it's both. It's both. Says Rav, we're going to apply the din, guys, of Miktzas Hayom Kekulo. Part of the day will be the my 70th day, and part of the day will be the first day of the what? Of the okay. So now if you do the math, then your son's Naziris ends on day 99 of your count. Because you can't start from day 70, you count 30 days, it's 99. Good. So it's 99. If you can't with your fingers, it works. So Miktzas Hayom Kekulo. So now, so it comes out like usually you bring the carbon we saw. If it's 30 days, you bring it on 31. If it's 100 days, you bring it on 101. That would be normal. Good. That would be normal. Yes. So now says Rav that it comes out. Says Rav, it comes out that on day 99, you're finished in the Nazir spot of the kid, right? So now, when do you bring the Kabbanis for Nazirs to the kid? On day 30, on 100, which is what? Which is the 31 to him. Yes? Says Rav, if that's the case, you'll be able to go ahead and bring your Kabbanis for your 100 as well. Because Miktzas Hayom Kekulo, we said the Raisa fellas, Miktzas Hayom Kekulo, you really, if you bring on day early in Masechta, if you bring it on day 30, we had this Gemara. Midoraisa, you can bring it on day 30, Miktzas Hayom Kekulo, and you bring the Kabbanis on day 30. But we said we're worried that you're going to make a Naziris of 30 days. In other words, we said you make a Naziris Shlema, not a Stam Naziris. Anyone remember this? Stam Naziris Lamed Yom versus a person was Makabel Naziris Shlema, full 30 days. So Midrabanan were geyser that what? You always bring it on 31. Always bring even Stam Naziris, which really Midoraisa, because the Miktzas Hayom Kekulo, you could bring it on day 30. We said you bring it on day 31. If that rings the bell, great. If not, I just taught it to you again. Now, Yankel, you're lost.
No, I'm not lost. I just want to know when do we, sometimes we wait the extra day. We finish the 30, let's say, we'll finish the 70, and we have a day in between, and we start again.
What do you mean?
We had that the case that the times that if you're a Nazir, you have 30 days. If you're a Nazir,
it could be Tumah. So Tumah could be different. We're not speaking about Tumah. There's no Tumah here.
There's no hefsek. You go straight into
go straight, right? Yeah.
You don't need
Again, our Mishnah. What's our Mishnah? Our Mishnah. What our Mishnah do? You went in. You concurrently. You took care of two. You killed two birds with one stone. Rav is saying a huge chiddush, guys. Listen to what Rav is saying. He's saying, guys, listen to this chiddush, guys. He's saying you say two Miktzas Hayom Kekulo. Actually, let me can you just move a little bit in this way so I can see Dov. Thanks. Just a little. This way, a little bit. Yeah, thanks. So now, I can see him. So now, you're saying two Mitzvah Yom Kekulo. You're saying Mitzvah Yom Kekulo vis-a-vis the right, the yours, and the right. So you're saying you're doubling two ways. You're saying for the Mitzvah Yom Kekulo that it's for the kid, and then at the end, okay. So now. You can say Miktzas Yom Kekulo de'oraisa, Avram. You could say it de'oraisa, meaning given on day 30, if you say Stam Naziris, if you would bring your Kabbanis on day 30, because you were mashkin Miktzas Yom Kekulo, the morning came, I finished my Naziris, you can bring it that day. The reason they were geyser to bring it on 31 is the Rabbanon, because maybe you might have made a Naziris, you were makabel a full 30 days, a shlema. So over here, we're using that mechanism. So listen to the lumdus over here. It's a really crazy lumdus. Light Rav, if you're going to say, you're going to double dip on day 70, so it comes out that the Nazir, he finished his Naziris on the 99th day, right? And he can bring his carbon on day 100, when you should bring your carbon on day 101. Good. But we're going to say Mitzvah Yom Kikuloi, you're going to be able to bring your carbon, since he brings his carbon, on which is day 30 for him, but day 31 for you, right? You'll be able 31 for him, but just 30 for you. You would be able to go ahead and be Yotzer as well. Let's see it inside. Amarav, Yom Shvi, Oilim Lekan Lekan. Yom Shvi, the 70th goes for both. Let's just see a little bit of the Taisos, guys. Amarav, Yom Shvi, Oilim Lekan Lekan, Pirish. Noidalei ben boy b'yom ayin mixes yom shekoidem aleida oil leminyan ameya. Part of the day that I koidem aleida before the leida counts what for the 100. Guys, before the leida, right? If there was a leida, it wouldn't count. In other words, guys, you need 2 mixes yom kekulo on the 70th day, fellas. You need 2 mixes yom kekulo on day 70. One you need it for the Naziris of the 100. Because if the child is born, then you're going to start watching the zeros on that day. But since Mixed Yom Kikuloi, I should have counted for my 100 already, right? And in addition, you're going to say Mixed Yom Kikuloi as the first day of the other Naziris. So it's a Chiddush Nifla. You're not saying, and you're going to say Mixed Yom Kikuloi in the end also. But this day, you're saying 2 Mixed Yom Kikuloi. You understand?
The mission said that you're not mafsid, you're maviach actually.
That's the kasha. That's Gemara's kasha. Very good, Avi. That's Gemara's kasha. Excellent. Guys, again, one more time. Guys, dove, come again. Mixes a Yom Kikula. Guys, watch. When you get to day 70 and your wife gives birth that day, it should not count for you at all. Why? Because I'm only in a Naziris as long as my wife didn't give birth. Ellie, you say what? As soon as the day came, she didn't give birth. Mixes a Yom Kikulo, it's going to be my 70th day. Now your wife gave birth. What are you going to say? Oh, I only have part of the day left. No, shine. It's Mixing Kukule for his start. So you're playing both ends. Yeah, you're playing both ends. Continues Tyson. Good. And the Mixing Yom after she gives birth, begins to his. You can only count 29 days later. Is day 99. What's considered 99 for you is 30 for your son. You can go ahead and take a haircut on day 100. Again, that's the 30th day, guys, is 99. Now it's 30, 31 is your 100. And now it counts the Naziris of your son. Min hadin shehu yoim lebenoi lamanal lebenoi oila nami oisai tiglachas gam the Naziris the nafshe shehu meya yoim. Afal pi shim loy nolda loy aben lahayach legaleach ad nazirusai elav yom kafalef. If you didn't have the son, you wouldn't be able to take it until day 101. Now, as a result, you can go ahead and do it on day 100. Okay, Kedarki, I'll say it one more time and then we'll go on. Good. Perfect case. Says, we know our Mishnah says what? If a woman gives birth up until 70, for our intents and purposes, in the 70th day, right? At day 100, he goes ahead, he takes a haircut, and he brings 2 sets of kabbanis, and he's finished because he had a concurrent running of his Naziris and his son's Naziris. Says Rav Chiddush Nifla. Says Rav that what? That day 70 counts for both. We say Mixes Yom Kekulo, so it counted day 70 for your Naziris. And Mixes Yom Kekulo, it sounds like it's the first day of your son's Naziris. You count 30 days. That brings you to day 99 of your Naziris, which is day 30 of your son's Naziris. When's your son going to bring a carbon? Day 31, which is day 100 of yours. When should you bring a carbon if your son wasn't born? Day 101. You're Maviach a day. Since you're going to go ahead and make a layach for your son, who then you can make a layach for him. Now, Taisus asked the obvious question: if you have to wait till 101, how can you get by a day early? And the answer is midaraisa mixes yom kekula. You really can forget that day. Geshmak. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to slug up Rav. Guys, now that you understand him, we're going to slug him up. Okay, says the Gemara. Amarav shivim oilu lakan tanan. It says noilula at shivim lahifsid klum. You don't lose anything. Fred the Gemara. We have Avi Rosenzweig in the Gemara. It guri mitkar. Right? You gained. Guys, you not only you don't have to wait to 100, you gain 90, it's 99, you gained a day. LOI, the truth is, begin with the loy listening at Shivim. You should not listen till Shivim. Umishin diktani seifa akra Shivim, soisa Shivim, ketani reisha Shivim. In other words, for symmetry in the Mishnah, let's go back to the Mishnah. Harini nazar l'shaliyah ben v'nazar me'yoyim nala ben at Shivim yoyim. It shouldn't say lehifsid klum. It should say you're marviach. But you know why it says lehifsid klum? Because to the sefer, where the sefer says that what that soisa that you are mafsid. Again, soisa means mafsid. So since it says mafsid in the sefer, who I did Laresha, that's the way Rav escapes the first kasha. Good. Continue to ask on Rav. Okay, Tashma. May Sefer. What is it saying in the Sefer of the Mishnah? Noila Achat Shivim. So guys, when's the child born? Day 71? Okay, guys, do the math 1 second. If the child is born on day 71, when's he going to be able to go ahead and take a haircut? 100. What? Which so you didn't lose anything. So why do you say that you're mafsid? You're not mafsid. Says the Gemara. So what do you mean soisa? It's not soisa of anything. You can still do it on day 100, guys. Right? Says the Gemara. No, actually, it's going to be 71. It could be 101 for you, right? Says the Gemara. My achim means acha means day 72. Says not acher. Aval acha mamish my. If it's mamish day 71, hachanamid loy sasar ihachi my iri tani noiler at shivim like hifsid klum. I feel achashivim nami ha'amrei sasa. In other words, why do you say up until 70 if it's not true? If it means up until 71, you should say that. And Ella, why do you have to say that Rabbi Shlaka? V'chein masnisan Ella shmamino achra mamish. V'chein masnisan l'Rav shmamino. Shmamino that what shmamino lashon nizar mishuna means shmamino not like Rav. Usually shmami means like Rav, so not like Rav. Okay, good. So now. So for all intents and purposes, Rav is out. Now, Rav is mechadish what, guys? You say mixed yom kekula on two ends. The Gemara assumes that Rav, who was an Amoira, had a Tana who supported him. Obviously, it's not the Tana of our Mishnah. We just slugged you off in the Mishnah. Good? So now the Gemara is going to go ahead and go through a few venues to try to find one. The first one being Abishol. Now, unfortunately, people who keep Naziris, that's where you learn the din of Mixas Yom Kekulai. Because you know, on the day 7, you get up in the morning, you don't sit the whole day, right? We also know that there's a din of Mixas Yom Kekulai, right? So in the regel, you come the regel, part of the regel, you're finished. So for example, let's say a person would sit 3 days before the regel. I think we even an hour before, but according to Tanakama, 3 days before the regel, then it's mafsid 7. But in order to be mafsik your shloishim, you'd have to have 1 day within the shloishim. Good. So in other words, according to the Tanakama, 8 days, the 7 days of shiva, and 1 day of the of shloishim, guys. Then the regel comes, you don't have to keep shloishim. Says Abishol, even day 7, and the regel comes, you don't have to keep shloishim. Why? Because day 7, we're going to say mixes a yom kekulai. It's part of the day that goes to 7, and the other part of the day goes to the beginning of shloishim, like day 8. So that's Rav. Day 70 goes to here and here. So to day 7 of your Avelis is counting towards your last day of Avelis for 7 and the first day of the Shleishim. So l'chayr you have a Abishol who would hold like Rav. The difference is that's the rice and this, and we're the rice and that's the Rabbanan. So you have no raya. Let's see it inside. Nan, okay. For Rav Kiman Amr l'shmaitza, Ilay Mikabishol did nan. Hakoyvres Meso, someone buries his dead. Shleisha Yom Koydem Achag, 3 days before the Koydem the Regel. Bottle Mimeno Gezer Shiva, he's bottle Gezer Shiva, right? Shmoyne Yomim Koydem the Regel, and if it's 8 days before the Regel, Bottle Mimeno Gezer Shleishim, Yalu Shleishim. Umutal Sapa Erva Regel, he'd be permitted therefore to take a haircut Erva Regel. You might see Erva Regel, Usla Sapa Acha Regel. If he doesn't take a haircut, then he can't take a haircut until after the Regel. Okay, now, here's the Gemara. Abishol says, even if he doesn't take a haircut before the regel, he could take a haircut after the regel. Just like 3 is mevatel 7, kach mitzvah shiva mevatel gezerah lamed. Now, how is 7 mevatel shloishim? My time at Abishol, lav mishum de kasavar Shvi oila lekanu lekan. Shvi counts as the last day of Shiva and the first day of Shloshim, and therefore would be good. That'll be a raya, mamish like Rav. Says more Duma ad kan lekama abishol ela ba'avelis zayin. The Rabbanon. Alo b'nasa the raisa loy, but maybe the nasa the raisa not. Good. So Ella, who is Rav? It's Rabbi Yossi. Okay, a little outside, guys. We need to give you a little. Now we've done this a few times, but it's sometimes people are prone to forget. Mida Araisa, the halachas of Nida and Zava are very bound together. What does that mean? A woman can have a period with an 18-day period. So if she sees within the first 7 days of those 18 days, that is called dam nida. If at the end she stops seeing, she's mutter to her husband. That's it. That's it. That's the raisa. The next 11 days are called yemei ziva. If she sees blood on one day, all she has to do is watch a clean day afterwards. If she sees 2 days, all she has to do is watch 1 day afterwards. If she sees 3 days, she's a zava. She has to wait zayin nekiyim and bring karbonis. Our women are machma al-atzmai, b'nos Yisrael machma, a tipus kechardo, like a mustard seed, they keep zayin nekiyim. So therefore, we're really keeping a chelik of the halachas of zava rather than nida. Good? Now, there's a din of zav. A zav, someone has a flow from his body, the same part of where keri comes from. It's a different color than keri. It's a different viscid than keri. If you see once, you're shemeres yom keneged yom. You're about keri. No, it's not. Excuse me. You're not shemeres yom keneged yom. You go ahead and you would go to your her shemesh. You go to the mikveh at night. If you see twice, right? If you see twice, you have to keep zayin nekiyim. If you see 3 times, zayin nekiyim and karbonis. Okay. That's the format of now. So let's say a woman sees she's shemeres yom keneged yom. If you say mixes yom kekulo, she doesn't have to wait the full day. Okay, so let's see inside. So we're going to see a Tana Rabbi Yossi. I'm going to suggest that Rav goes according to Rabbi Yossi. So we're going to have to see that Rabbi Yossi holds that mixes yom kekulo on both ends. That Rabbi Yossi is going to hold mixes yom kekulo on both ends. Rav Namak Rabbi Yossi. Rav holds like Rabbi Yossi. Tanya Rabbi Yossi Ayner. Shemeres yom keneged yom. This woman, girls, guys, she's a girl, man. Yeah. Okay, shut up. And this, I'm retiring. Don't worry. And so now, shemeres yom keneged yom. She's watching again. All she has to watch. So, guys, watch. It's Yud Dalid Nisan. What do you bring on Yud Dalid Nisan? The Korban Pesach. When do you eat it? Night. So she saw on Yud Gimel. She goes to the mikvah and she's washing Yud Dalid. She has to be counted into the Korban Pesach. You count her in. Good. She count her in. At night, if she's tahar, she eats it. If she's tameh, she doesn't. Good. Now, what about Pesach Sheni? She would not have to go to Pesach Sheni. The only people who have to go to Pesach Sheni are people who are tameh on Yud Dalid. Now, obviously, she saw later on in Yud Dalid, correct? So it must be that you hold mixes yom kekulo to mataha for the tahar. Good. So now, the Tanya Rabbi Yossi Aymer. Shemeres yom keneged yom sheshachtu v'zarku la b'sheni shalah. I love Dr. Sheni. You went ahead and you shechted and you did zrika of a Korban Pesach. V'yachach rasa, and afterwards she saw dam. Harizu eno echeles. She can't eat the Korban Pesach. However, upetura milasais Pesach Sheni. My time of Rabbi Yossi. Lav mishum de ksavar mixes hayom kekulai umikan lahaba humitame. And she's only mitame mekan lahaba. Why is she only Kame Gai Makan Lahaba? Because mixes Yom Kekulo in the morning, she was tar. So the fact that she's part from Pesach Sheni, let's focus on, guys. If Mikan Makan Lahaba means she was tar completely, how can you be tar completely? She has to watch a full day, and the answer is she doesn't. Mixes Yom Kekulo. Good. Now, where's the other mixes Yom? It's two-sided. So look at Taisus. My time of Rabbi Yossi, Lav Mishum mixes Yom Kekulo, Umikan Lahaba Umitame. Nimsa Ki B'Shash Shchitu Zrika. When they were shechted on Yud Daled in the afternoon, she was totally tahar. Well, how do you know that? because the mikan lahabahu mitameya. She's only mitama, not retroactively, only from that point onwards. And when she sees again, mitanlina la mikan lahaba. Ulemachar tasa shima gomer lemixas yom zeh. And the next day it'll be shima, a complete shima, right? The next day, tasa shima gomer lemixas yom zeh shenitma. It'll be what? Alma the yom sheni zeh mixas yom chashvina le yom tahar. The second day is considered part yom tahar. It'll have a shima yom shetmo. That it's what? It's shima for the next day. Hilkach shchita zrika b'tayra haya. In other words, she's going to go ahead and partially in the fact that she's tahar, shows that what? That she is, that the fact that she's tahar is that it was she's now tummy at night, right? But the next day, right, that Mixla Yom is going to be Shima for the Tumah that she saw previously. So Nimsa, it was the same, it was Mixla Yom for the Tumah that you saw in the morning, and for the Tyra of the next day. The next day, she's gonna watch for the part of the day that she was Tameh. In other words, guys, she was only Tameh part of the day. In the morning, she saw on the 13th. On the morning of the 14th, she's Tar Gomer. How do you know that? Because Mixza Yom Kikulai. And therefore, Mikan Laba, she's Tameh. She now sees in the Yudalit. Good? So Mixza Yom, she is Tameh. And the next day is going to be Shima for that day. So it's the same scenario. So what do you see? Shima Gomer, Lemixza Yom Zeh Shenitma. The next day, it'll be Shima, complete Shima, for that partial day that she was Tameh. Alma, the Yom Sheni Zeh, that second day, Mixla Yom Chashvina Le Yom Tahar, they'll have a Shima Le Yom Shetmo. Again, it's Shima for the previous day. Hilka Shchit, Zrika Batayra, therefore you can check Batayra. Mixase Chashvina Le Yom Tuma, they'll have Yom Shalmacha Shima Lahai Mixas Yom. Okay, that's the, here's the two sides again, one more time. I'm double talking you. You have day 13. Day 13, she goes ahead and she's a Balkari. She's a Zava. Zava Katana. She has to watch. She has to get Tahar from that. Good. Comes the morning of the 14th, right? You can check in the afternoon. You can check the Karban Pesach for her. Good. Why? Because she is. We'll say Mixla Yom Kikuloi, and she's only Tamei Mikan Lahaba. So the fact that she's only Tamei Mikan Lahaba shows that she was completely Tahar. Good. However, in the afternoon she saw. Good. In the afternoon she saw. So Mixla Yom is what? She's Tamei. The next morning is going to be a Shima for that Mixla Yom. So therefore, you have what? Mixla Yom on two ends, the Tahar and the Tyra. The Tahar and the Tama. Says the Gemara. Umi Sava. So that's one more time, guys. But let's see. My time, Rabbi, I see Lab Mishum the Kasava Mixla Yom Kikulai. And why? Umi Kan Labo Mitame. And therefore, what? Rav would hold like Rav Yosi. Fred Gemara, Misav Rabbi Yossi, Hachi, does Rabbi Yossi really hold like that? But Tanya, Rabbi Yossi Omer, Zov Bal Shtei Re'iyos, a Zov, again, 2 times the Zayin the Kiyim, and 3 times the carbon. He saw twice, Sheshachtu V'zarkalav B'shvi. So he's by the Zayin the Kiyim, guys, yes? Yudalid falls out on his 7th day. You shech the Karban Pesach with the idea that he'll be able to eat the Karban Pesach at night. So to a Zava watching day Keneged day, Sheshachtu B'zarku Leha on the 14th, the Akach Ro, and then she sees, Afa Pisha Metama Mishkavu Moshev Lima Freya, even though Metama what? Sitting on a bed, and what's underneath it, anything Lima Freya, Peturim Elasis Pesach Sheni. So why do you see the Tami guys, Lima Freya? Now, if you say Misa Yom Kukuloi, they should be Tama Lima Freya, should be Kahar. So you have a stira in Rabbi Yossi. How do you answer that stira? Ma'ilum Afreya midrabanan. That milim Afreya means the rabbanan. It's only the rabbanan. But mitzvah yom kikuloi and really midaraisa yatahar. Hachanami mistaber to say mitzvah yom kikuloi. Yisal kedaytchem midaraisa. Amayim b'turim lasas pesach sheni. Guys, you seem to be slicing yourself minei ubei. On one hand, you're going to tell me that she's Tommy Lemafreya. On the other hand, you say she doesn't have to bring Pesach Sheni. Well, obviously, if she's tamei, she has to bring the Pesach Sheni. So how do you reconcile the two? The tum is only the Rabbanan. Why? Because Mixayam Kakulai. Since Mixayam Kakulai, you don't have to bring Pesach Sheni because you were what? Because you were no, because you were tamei. Just 1 second. Yeah, you're potter from bringing Pesach Sheni. The only one who goes to Pesach Sheni is someone who's tamei, and since you weren't tamei, you don't have to go to Pesach Sheni. So therefore, must be the Rabbanan. So right now we're holding that Rav could be like Rabbi Yossi. Right now we're holding Rav could be like Rabbi Yossi. Mixayam Kakulai. Says the Gemara, Loyal Memlucha Tumah Daraisa. If Tumah is Daraisa, then how in the world can't you be potter from Pesach Sheni? She's tamei, she'd have to bring Pesach Sheni. Tahoim deziva hitiroi. Okay, now we're going to see in this Masech there's something called Tumas HaTohaim. Tumas HaTohaim is, you wouldn't know about it now, but you found out later. So the Ziva is a case of Tumas HaTohaim because she has no way of knowing that she's going to see later. The case of Tumas HaTohaim is you're sitting on a rock and you don't know there's a mace under the rock, something like that. Tohaim literally means the deep. But if you the Rush says, Kol Tumas Safik, any Tumah that's a Safik, correlate Tumas HaTohaim. That's called Tumas HaTohaim. Kimaisha HaTohaim Mechusa, just like the Tohaim is Mechusa, the knowledge of this tum is mechutza. You don't know. Okay, so therefore, says the Rush. So this is a case of tumas hatohaim. This is a case of tumas hatohaim. She doesn't know if she's going to see. So there's a special waiver. Really, midaraisa yotame. Really, midaraisa yotame. Why we have so, and therefore you don't say mixayam kakulai, and therefore Rav cannot hold like Rabbi Yossi. Good. If you're really tamei, so why you put from Pesach Sheni? Because you have a waiver. That type of tumah, tumas at the home, which would be tumah ziva, is put from Pesach Sheni. So right now, Rav does not hold like Rabbi Yossi. Good, says the Gemara. Like Rav. In other words, he would say like Rav. That's Rabbi Yossi. The Tanya, Rabbi Shaya Omar. Haroya zov b'shvi shaloi. If a zov sees on his zayin nakim on the 7th day, soiser eshalafanav. It goes ahead and knocks off his 7 days. He's got to start anew. Like again, just like a nida. The Imri law, Rabbi Yochanan, loy nistar eli yoymai. Rabbi Yochanan says only 1 day. Now, manav shach. Isasar. There's no halfway over here, guys. If it overrides it, then kula sasar, it overrides everything. In Eloi sasar, and if it doesn't, like nistar eli yoymai, then it doesn't override anything. So what do you mean it only overrides 1 day? Ella ema. Say right, therefore it's not seiser even 1 day. So guys, why does he see on 1 day? Why, if he sees on the beginning of the 7th day, why is he tahar? Because mixes a yom kikulai will say that the beginning of the day got him off the hook. Okay, and who's saying this? Rabbi Shia is saying this in Rabbi Yochanan. So the Amalei Rabbi Shia said to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yossi koi kavaseich. Rabbi Yossi holds like you, because Rabbi Yochanan, if you're saying that you're tahar, it must be your whole mixes yam kakulai. So therefore, he says Rabbi Yossi goes like you. So you see, Rabbi Yossi learns pshat and Rabbi Yossi as mixes yam kakulai. Not that tum is the raisa, that tum is the rabbanon. Why? Because mixes yam kakulai, and therefore she's tahar mikan lahaba. The army mikan lahaba mitame. You guys are good. I've Rabbi Yossi l'mafrei who the amar my l'mafrei midrabbanon. Now, Rabbi Yossi Michti, Sava Mixel Yom Kakuloi, Zava Gemur, the Maisi Carbon, Hekim Mishkachasla. Kivin the Chazi with Paga the Yuma, Edith Paga the Yuma, Solik like Mishima. Guys, watch. I gave you the case of Zava. Case of Zava, right? She sees 3 days, correct? So she sees day number 1. Good. What happens day number 2 in the morning?
She never gets to 2.
She sees it doesn't begin. Like Rabbi Yossi saying, how do you have a case of a Zava that can see 3 times? She's constantly being tahar, eh? Good. So this is a side point according to so that's very good. So says the Gemara. So how would you find it? Anybody say the kashafa tilsa yom. She flowed for 3 days. That's obvious that she would be in big but she'd have bigger problems than Tumah, right? Okay, so, but again, if she saw 3 days simultaneously, in other words, there never was a mixed yom. That's one shot. By saying the chazi tilsa yoimei samech l'shkiyas achama 3 times before shkiyas achama lehavi shoyes l'salik le'minyana, that she wouldn't have time to be salik the minyan. So the place is over here, you'll see it. Hajalacha harinaza, hajalacha harinaza, hajalacha harinaza.